Hey everyone, Jin here. Welcome back to another episode of Gotta Read 'em All, a Pokemon podcast on Pokemon Adventures. Um, so where we left off last was chapter 19, Blame It on Eevee. And with me, as always, my blue to my red, Otaku Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
So
I don't know what you want me to say there.
I just didn't think you were going to say it in such a deep voice. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Otaku Mike here.
But obviously, this chapter is us talking about Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
Who knew we would talk about the little Eevee?
So, uh, I actually read this chapter last night, and I have to say that with what's going on right now, I feel like we're still riding the hype train again from the last chapter, chapter 18.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like it. Like I really like when I read it, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't read that many chapters because we can't get that far away from where we're at. But I was like, let's just read a few, and this was riding off the wave of the last one. I felt like this was a pretty good chapter as well.
So, are you getting like hooked again? Because I
I'll
mean, you haven't
never.
read you haven't read Pokemon or revisited it in quite some time, correct? Like other than what
Uh,
we've been doing here.
well, I read the last set like when we were talking about starting it,
Okay.
which was I think it was the two volumes of like Heart Gold and Soul Silver or
Mm-hmm.
Omega Red, Alpha Ruby, something like that or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I was reading those sets.
Okay. Okay.
But no, the main like regular series, no, it's been a while.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So, but no. We start out this one with Red riding his bike, which I have to say I really enjoy that the last panel of chapter 18 was him running from his Pokemon in his bike, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
still on the bike when we get into this town.
Yeah. Way to go for
Um,
continuity's sake, right?
right? Instead of it being like, hey, weeks later.
Weeks later, I'm
um,
still on this bike.
fuck. But he's going, and he actually almost runs across one of the Pokemon that I really enjoy, which is Tangela.
Yeah.
Um, Runs out, falls over on from his bike, and gets up and is kind of pissed about it and everything. As this wild Tangela is jumping off through the crowd and everything.
Well, that we think it's wild. We don't know. You know?
Hey, buddy, there's a big line of people. I know it's not wild.
Yeah. The
That's for
Tangle
sure.
the Tangela runs through and Red is obviously pissed off because he fell off his bike. He's like, hey, what the deal is going on? Like, what the hell, you know? What's
Yeah.
the deal here?
Which this group kind of looks like a cult group because everybody's like carrying stuff, walking in a straight line.
Yeah, I think they're giving like tribute or something to the character we'll meet in a minute, which is
Yeah.
we meet Erika, who we find out is a gym leader, and she's very prominent, I think, in this area,
Yeah.
from what it
She's known
seems
as the
like.
princess.
Yeah, that's true. And Red is like, "Oh my god, another gym leader! All right, I got two badges I got from Pewter City and Celadon City." So, or Cerulean City, sorry.
Cerulean. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Cerulean City. I don't know why I said Celadon. He's like, I need to challenge
Uh,
you.
you said Celadon because we're in Celadon.
Oh, are we?
Yeah,
Okay.
Celadon is Erica's gym town.
Okay. Is Erica in the the games the next after Brock and Misty? Do you know?
I think so.
Okay, because I couldn't
Because
remember.
this is always one of the weird parts. I feel like, even though we've already seen Lieutenant Surge, I feel like this
Hmm.
is one of the weird parts because you pass by Lieutenant Surge's town because he's not at the gym,
Yeah,
and you go and find Erika and you get her badge. Well, then you have to come back, and I
yeah.
can't remember if we fight Lieutenant Surge fourth or fifth.
Okay,
So
because
it's really, really weird.
we've already also seen Koga as well,
That's true. That's true. But we haven't seen Koga as
gym
a
leader.
a gym leader yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and
True that.
we've also seen, who's this, the psychic person?
Oh, I thought
I can
second person was Erika.
No, Erika is the plant person.
Oh God, then I don't remember who the psychic person is. Honestly.
It's the chick with the long hair and uh I can't remember. Sabrina. That's what it is.
Okay, Sabrina. Okay. Yeah.
We've kind of seen Sabrina like one time without knowing who she really is either.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, we're getting our sort of lineup of later gym leaders are
With
actually like assholes.
with glancing through this chapter, I originally thought that Erika was Sabrina in this chapter.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. So I don't remember Erika that well in the game or even in the anime itself.
Well, so the weird thing in this is that right now we're seeing her on the parts that we're looking at being
Hmm.
in like a schoolgirl uniform
Yeah, it
when
looks like
she really wears a kimono.
yeah, you're right. You're right about
So
that.
yeah,
Which I don't yeah, or maybe she could be wearing like a kimono or like a long dress. We just see her sitting down, so we can't really see that part
that's true.
exactly.
That's true.
But the cult or whatever they are, the onlookers get mad because Red is not bowing down to Erika and paying his respects like he should, and
To receive his apology.
yet to receive his apology.
uh it's like for everything they want him to bow, and it's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? What the
and
fuck, bro?
Erica's like, look, I'm only gonna fight somebody who is like on my level. So if you want to do something, you're gonna have to go catch a specific Pokemon for me.
Yeah,
And
yeah. She
yeah,
she does the whole thing of, to show me that you're worthy of my time and of my battle at my gym.
yeah,
Prove it. Prove it.
prove it,
You
prove it.
have to do something for me. And that
Hmm.
is where we get the name of our chapter from, finding
Hmm.
Eevee and knowing where it's going to go from there.
Yeah, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to go capture an Eevee. Who better to help him with than an old friend? We could say
Professor
who
Oak.
not Professor Oak, but
But
Bill,
right,
who we called Phil for some reason at one point
that's true.
in one of the podcasts.
Phil.
But
So
Bill shows up.
here's my other thing with that though too, is because we did try to get a hold of Professor Oak, but
Yeah,
he's out somewhere. So I
yeah.
kind of really wonder what's going on with Professor Oak at this current time for
Hmm.
him not to be around a phone, since he's been there every other time we've called him.
Yeah, true. What is going on with Professor Oak? Little shady, just saying.
Maybe him and Miss Ketchum are making ash.
Mm. We
um,
haven't seen Red's mom in this series yet.
no, I mean, like literally, like Ash's mom.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because they're two different characters, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I brain fart. But Bill shows up, and we find out that Bill flew on the back of a Firo to get here, which is reference to but Firo itself
Yeah.
in the chapter where uh, Bill was introduced, I believe, in that chapter.
Yeah.
We find out that Eevee's kind of rare to find, and seems like not a lot of people know about Eevee. It seems to be very much of like you hear of inklings or stories about Eevee. Like they
Right.
say Eevee can breathe fire or shoot water or electricity or whatever.
Right. Right.
But I like this scene where they're actually trying to find Eevee, where they have like the laptop out, the
Yeah.
little thing in they're trying to find Eevee.
And they're
Um,
calling people up and whatnot.
yeah.
So after we get past this page right here of them calling people into
Uh huh.
Nova, on the next one where we see Erika shooting a bow,
Yes.
this is what I want to bring up right here. It says, Milady Erika, I have
Mm-hmm.
to ask, what are you thinking? The
Mm-hmm.
Eevee is one of your project's primary objectives. If your plan is to exposed through that child, and then Erika
Mm-hmm.
kind of cuts the person off or whatever. But it makes me think that how do these people might not already know this, with Bill and Red actually already messaging all these different people on where this Eevee could be.
Yeah.
I was
And
kind of
like,
like,
what
how do you not
project?
know that?
What project is this? Is she working with Team Rocket?
Right,
Well, on like some special Pokemon project? Is she a member of Team Rocket? Because those are the only people that we know who work on Pokemon.
right. Well, and then from her Vileplume that attacked, it actually attacked behind the person that
Mm-hmm.
had a drowsy.
Yeah, I thought this part was kind of cool, where we see all like the
Oh,
leaves sticking out.
yeah, I love the leaves like stuck into him.
Like, God, that's gotta hurt. Like, how thick and durable are these leaves that where they stick
Right,
into a Pokemon?
right, especially coming from a mushroom.
Yeah, and yeah, this is where we find out that the tall tale of Eevee, I guess you could say, and where Bill and Red are looking for these different.
Did you like the country bumpkin play on fire?
Yeah, I did. I
Fire,
did. Fire,
fire,
fire, sizzle, fire,
not far, fire.
fire. Yeah, no, because remember, Bill has an accent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bill is like a traditional country bumpkin in the series.
but he's really good at technology.
That's true. That's the weird part.
Yeah, but we see Jolteon show up and Flareon, I think, as well. No, Eevee. Yeah, Jolteon shows up, and then Jolteon turns into Eevee, and Red has no success at attacking because he's using obviously a Krabby, and Krabby is
Right.
not good against Jolteon.
Hey everyone, Jen here, and I wanted to take a quick second from the podcast to tell you about Anchor by Spotify. It's one of the easiest ways now that you can actually record a podcast all in one simple place. You can record it from your phone or your computer, post to any platform, including Spotify, and also have cool things like this ad or other things, podcast subscriptions happen to you. And it's all entirely free. So go out and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started today. Right. And then we get this really weird scene because Bill's got this little thing that tells you what the energy is, what
Yeah,
energy is coming off of it, and I really like it because it every time we see something, it goes through it. Uh,
yeah,
and if you remember, the Krabby came from chapter 18, where
hmm,
he knew that he couldn't use Blue's Pokemon the way that they were, and he
yeah.
caught a Krabby and a Diglett.
And Diglett comes up just recently, actually, in this
Right.
chapter as well, and he gets to
But
use it.
we
But I like
we
this.
the Eevee scene.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay.
The So we have this weird scene where it looks like Eevee is kind of like cut in half,
Mm-hmm.
and half of it is an Eevee, and the other half is a Jolteon,
Yes.
and
And
it
if
it
you
it,
remember,
it gives you the effect like a changeling, you know.
yeah, or
It,
very
it
much like a changeling or like some kind of body horror type of
what
thing.
was
Or
what was the character's name in X-Men? Darwin.
yeah.
It's so Eevee is like the Darwin Darwin of the Pokemon world right now. At least this one is, you know.
Yeah. And then Diglett comes out and fights Vaporeon now and happens to lose at that. And then Vaporeon goes to a Flareon. And now there's like, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to make of this
And
scenario.
Red throws out Ivysaur for that one.
Yeah, Ivysaur, yeah. And they're like, what? Why, how can this Pokemon have three different elements? Like, what's going on here? Like, this is unheard of to
Yeah,
where a Pokemon can do this. This is like unheard of that like in the Pokemon universe, you know?
right.
And but Red finally figures it out. It's something to do with the ears, and he uses uses Ivysaur to cover Eevee's ears and knocks Eevee out with the solar beam. And we find out that something's happened to where Eevee has a chip on its ear, and this might be what's causing Eevee to basically change back and forth unnaturally in the from the different evolutions. And
Right.
Red kind of puts two and two together, and okay, this isn't no ordinary Eevee. And our friend Erika knows more than she's letting on to tell us, you know. And that's where our chapter ends.
Erica more than meets the eye.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, well, so some questions that we should throw out there are: what do you think? Do you think Erica is actually the person that put these chips on Eevee, or is she like the caretaker of Eevee,
I think she's probably the caretaker of Eevee.
and
And
somebody else
Eevee,
put the chip?
I think she was a part of the Eevee project, and she was supposed to look over Eevee, and somehow Eevee got away and escaped.
Right.
That's what I feel.
Right. No, and I agree with that. I mean, that's something that I think is a little off about this whole chapter as well. Is, you know, Erica does send him to go on this mission,
Mhm.
and we know as the audience reading it that there's something else up. But then, you know, if you put yourself in Red's point of view, it's kind of like, well, why is this that way? There's got to be something more and something else that we have to know.
Yeah, no,
Which
you're right.
this also kind of makes you think too, like uh not this chapter, not even in this book. Well, I guess for you, because yours is the omnibus.
Yeah,
Um, but like the other technology that we've seen so far, like
like the
the drug,
Rhyhorn.
yeah, like the Reinhorn, the little syringe of stuff that makes it evolve too fast, you know,
Yeah,
other stuff like that, or
this is very much similar to that, but like a upgraded, refined version,
right,
sort of.
right, and it's the weird thing is with this is the third thing that we've seen
Mm-hmm.
for that, because we saw the drug that makes them evolve fast.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this chip that makes Eevee be able to swap between the three Kanto evolutions fast.
Yeah,
And we've also seen them making this other Pokemon in a lab that we all know as Mewtwo.
yeah. True.
So it's really weird seeing all of these different scientific things
Hmm.
and who's involved with what. Because
Yeah.
now, from what we know on that part with Erika, Erika is involved with this. Um, Koga was involved
Hmm.
with the drug to super evolve Pokemon. Was
Hmm.
Lieutenant Surge a part of this kind of weird triad or whatever going on for Mewtwo?
Hmm.
As far as we know right now.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So
This chapter like gave me like the feelings and very sympathetic towards Eevee because Eevee kept changing back and forth.
right,
And like what that made me think like what kind of effects did that have on Eevee itself?
that's true. Well, the other thing I thought of is even though Red was changing out Pokemon, what
Hmm.
if Red had had all three Pokemon out at the same time, and anytime Eevee changed, like, you know, Jolteon, Diglett attack,
Hmm.
Flareon, Krabby attack, uh, Vaporeon, Ivysaur attack, what would Eevee have taken more damage
Yeah.
hitting those ones if it had naturally evolved into that, or what's going on with that? Because something
Hmm.
else had to have been an accomplishment or whatever with it.
Yeah.
So,
True. True.
but
No, I agree with that. This chapter honestly took me by surprise once you brought in the Eevee part. I
yeah,
was like, okay, like wow, this turned really really fast and into
right,
a really dark, disturbing scenario. Especially if you're like an animal lover, because you could kind of say this is somewhat like animal abuse in a way,
yeah,
because you're forcing this upon this animal,
right. Well,
you
and then
know.
the other thing is you think like Red is just going out to find an Eevee, right?
Hmm. He doesn't
And
know
then you
anything
find
about that other part.
right, and then you find out this shit, and you're like,
Yeah, like they're
what the
fucking doing
fuck?
like animal experiments on these Pokemon, you know? It's crazy to
Right,
think about, you know, which we've kind of seen before with the Rhydon, but the Rhydon, you know, it was somebody else's Pokemon, and this we were assuming it's a wild Pokemon, you know.
right.
We're under the impression that it's a wild Pokemon.
Right, and it has to be because Red is able to put it into a Pokeball
Hmm.
that we'll see at the beginning of chapter 20, but
Yeah.
we don't know much more than that, and we don't want to on the podcast cover into chapter 20 right now because we're covering 19. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyway, I hope that y'all are enjoying Gotta Read 'em All,
Yeah.
and stay tuned for chapter
This was
20.
a fun, interesting chapter.
Yes,
Like, I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? It
yes.
was cool. It was cool to see Bill come back, you know, and get reference to way, way back. I think in like chapter 7, maybe chapter
Yeah,
6, he showed up.
yeah, and he had like fused himself with a Ratatat. So,
Yeah. Yeah. He was a Ratatat, you know? Yeah.
but yeah. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned
Or
for
listening.
chapter 20. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stay tuned for chapter 20 coming out later on. And as always, see you next Tuesday.
Bye.